One day, when his rage was at its height, the Maharaja called the Diwan and ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. Now, Maharaja was getting irritated day by day, and when he got, very angry one day, and he was extremely annoyed because he could not find any tiger there. He got very annoyed, and he called the Diwan and he ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. So he gave this order to Diwan that he should levy land tax, double the land tax on the villagers right away. So it shows that how insensitive he was towards his subjects. He was only bothered about himself. He was so self-centered. The people will become discontented. Then our state too will fall a prey to the Indian National Congress, said the Diwan. He said, then the people would get discontented, dissatisfied, and displeased, and they would be complaining against the system, and maybe that would lead to them joining the Indian National Congress in their freedom struggle or in the national movement. So in that case, he said, in that case you may resign from your post. Who said this? King. When he was trying to tell him the repercussions of his orders as a responsible official, the Maharaja could not, understand that. He lacked vision, he lacked leadership qualities. He thought that he was not ready to, carry his order. And he was so impulsive, he was so irrational that he could not understand what Diwan meant to say. And he straight away told him to resign from his post. That means he did not worry about the repercussions of his orders. He did not worry about the consequences. He was so insensitive towards his subjects that he did not think how would they pay the tax or anything, of that sort. The Diwan went home convinced that if the Maharaja did not find the tiger soon, the results would be catastrophic, because Maharaja was in the habit of sycophancy. Sycophancy in the sense he wanted everybody to listen to him, only carry his orders without questioning him. So he lacked vision, he lacked priorities, and he was very impulsive in taking decisions. So he never gave any forethought to any of his decisions. So the Diwan, he went home convinced that if the Maharaja did not find the tiger soon, what will happen? The results would be catastrophic to him also, to other people also, devastating. He felt life returning to him only when he saw the tiger, which had been brought from the People's Park in Madras and kept hidden in his house. So he saw a tiger. He felt like he saw a tiger which had been brought from the People's Park, some zoo maybe, or some area where tigers were kept. So in Madras, so one tiger was brought from there and was hidden in his house. So he felt like he has, saved his job. At midnight, when the town slept in peace, the Diwan and his aged wife dragged the tiger to the car. He was an elderly person. He and his aged wife, they dragged the tiger to the car and shoved it into the seat. That tiger was not ferocious at all, because it was was a tamed one. So when it was brought, it was dragged to the car and they put it into the rear seat. The Diwan himself drove the car straight to the forest. Just imagine, the tiger was on the rear seat and Diwan was driving the car straight to the forest where the Maharaja was hunting. When they reached the forest, the tiger launched its satyagraha and refused to get out of the car. Satyagraha Satyagraha was kind of political resistance against the British rule. But here Satyagraha means, here the tiger launched its Satyagraha means he was not ready to come out of the car. He just as if refused to get out of the car. He didn't want to. It was a lazy tiger. The divan, and it was very heavy, so it was very difficult for the divan and other people to drag him out. The divan was thoroughly exhausted in his efforts to haul the beast out of the car and push it to the ground. Somehow he hauled the beast out. Haul means dragged, pulled the beast out of the car and pushed it to the ground. But in the process of that, he got really exhausted. On the following day, the same old tiger wandered into the Maharaja's presence and stood as if in humble supplication. Now, this tiger was a tamed one and very old also. It was not ferocious at all. So, it was in the habit of seeing people around. So, on the following day, next day, what happened? Same old tiger wandered into the Maharaja's presence. It came in front of Maharaja itself, and as if it was standing in humble supplication, as if respectfully standing there, bowing in front of him, or ready to be sacrificed, like that, in humble supplication. Master, as if it was saying, Master, what do you command of me? It was this with boundless joy that the Maharaja took careful. It was standing as if it was ready to sacrifice itself. And Maharaja became very happy, boundless, immense, filled with immense happiness, joy. He took a careful aim at the beast. The tiger fell in a crumpled heap. He fired at the beast and it fell down dead. I have killed the 100th tiger. My vow has been fulfilled. My promise to myself has been fulfilled, he said. He was very happy. The Maharaja was overcome with elation. Where elation means very, very happy. Ordering the tiger to be brought to the capital in grand procession. He ordered that the dead tiger should be brought to the capital town in grand procession. Grand procession is like grand parade. The Maharaja hastened away in his car and he quickly went off. After the Maharaja left, the hunters went to take a closer look at the tiger. The tiger looked back at them, rolling its eyes in bafflement and confusion. Tiger was still alive, and tiger was confused that what was going on. The men realized that the tiger was not dead. The bullet had missed it. It had fainted. The tiger had fainted from the shock of the bullet whizzing past. So this is a little hilarious here. The hunters wondered what they should do. The tiger had not died. It had just fainted because of the shock of the bullet, that sound of the bullet. They decided that the Maharaja must not come to know that he had missed his target. So what did they do? If he did, they could lose their jobs. So they decided that they would not tell Maharaja that he had missed the target, because he was very impulsive and could become very angry. And because he was very impulsive and because of his irrational behavior, they thought that they could lose their job. So they decided not to tell him. One of the hunters took aim from a distance of 1 foot and shot the tiger. This time he killed it without missing his mark. So the tiger was killed by one of the hunters, not by the king.